Yo, what is up, guys? So we are going to be going over all of the perks as well as all of the wild cards that are available in the new Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, keep in mind, even though I'm going to be giving my suggestions for the best, it's obviously a subjective video, but I mean, I got rank 32 in Black Ops 2 for league play, and then I also did play competitively in the section for Black Ops 3, and I reached the Master Series Pro, which is the highest rank that you can actually achieve in the game. Now, let's go ahead and check out all of the perks. Now, keep in mind, these were actually something that was tweeted a while back by Treyarch. They showed it off the perks, but they didn't explain what the heck these perks did. Also, you guys can see there are wild cards, but again, it's going to be a pick 10 system, which is kind of my favorite system in Call of Duty anyways. But let's go ahead and check out all the perks and find out exactly what they do, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on what are the best perks in the game. But anyways, first off, the first perk we're going to be taking a look at is Resistance. It's basically like Tactical Mask, but it makes you resistance to 9-bang, concussion, razor wire, and counter UAV, which is kind of nice. It's kind of like I was hardwired in a sense. But razor wire, I'm not sure how effective that thing is, but basically in Black Ops 4, since it's kind of a team-based game, people have abilities. Basically, razor wire is going to slow you down from entering a certain area. You can shoot the razor wire. I don't know how much HP the thing has, so we'll have to wait and see like how viable that is. But I want to say that most people probably won't be running that anyways. Next up is Engineer. It shows the enemy equipment and score streaks lock on to vehicles faster. So I'm guessing this is when you're trying to shoot down certain like UAVs and things in the air when your opponent's getting score streaks. As far as competitive goes, most people won't be running this anyways. It all depends on what equipment we can run for ranked and what the equipment is going to be, because if you're able to see through walls, sometimes it's pretty nice. I'm sure a lot of you guys remember in Black Ops 3, you're able to see things through walls, and that can help you know exactly where someone's going to be, so it can have potential. Again, it just depends on what some of the specialist abilities are. Next up, Flak Jacket. Well, I mean, for hardpoint, you used to be spammed with grenades, and I think one thing that's kind of nice with the new Call of Duty is that like grenade spam is not going to be so much a relevant thing, but also it does another thing. It you makes it so you take less damage from enemy explosives, which is always, but it's also going to make you take less damage from fire, which there's like a Molotov, and there's also radiation. So if there's some type of radiation grenade or certain areas on the map, I really don't know. That's something we'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, I would say Flak Jacket is going to see a little bit less play, just because, again, grenade spam is not going to be too much of a thing in this Call of Duty, just the way the game works, as far as via the gameplay that I've seen. Next up, we have Cold-Blooded, so it makes you resistant to score streaks and targeting systems. So if any like little reticle attachment is available, it usually doesn't see much play anyways as far as like competitive goes. Next up, Scavenger, replenish ammo from fallen players. Unfortunately, you won't be able to replace, like, from my knowledge at least, your abilities, because your abilities aren't like things that you pick up. So I think Scavenger is probably not going to be so good in the game. Especially, keep in mind, guys, I'm mentioning this for competitive play in Call of Duty. For pubs, yeah, Scavenger sometimes is nice, but for the most part, most people skip out on that anyways. Next up, Dexterity. Finally, we're getting to what I would consider like the S tier or tier 1 perks, the things that you guys are going to be using in competitive play. So Dexterity makes it so you mantle, climb, slide, and swap weapons faster, increase weapon accuracy when jumping or mantling. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are people, if you play competitive Call of Duty, like jump shotting is super important, especially when you're playing search and destroy and you know exactly where someone is going to be. This is probably an S tier perk, definitely one of the best perks in the game as of right now, at least in my opinion. I mean, it does so much. Mantle, climb, slide. You get to slide faster. That's huge, especially, I don't know if it's going to be slide longer. Again, some of these things are subjective to being changed, but I mean, for what it does, there's so much things that it does. And you also get weapon accuracy while mantling, which I thought was kind of interesting. That's something that I wouldn't expect, but I mean, the perk does so many damn things. Like, definitely high tier perk. Next up, Gung Ho. It all depends how Gung Ho works in the game. If you guys remember, Gung Ho actually behaved a little bit weird in Advanced Warfare, as well as some other Call of Duties that have basically the ability to shoot immediately. It caused like some weird delay in how the movement worked. So it was worse in some Call of Duty games. But basically, to sum it up over here, it says, fire your equipment and use equipment while sprinting, which is something they mentioned in the game where you're able to still like aim and like throw your grenades, which is obviously with Gung Ho. But it also says recover from sprint faster, move at full speed when reloading. I don't really care too much about that. I actually prefer being able to cancel my reload with sprint anyways, just because, well, that's the way I like to play. Or you can, tap triangle, or YY to cancel a reload and go a little bit faster. Again, we're talking about competitive Call of Duty here. But also, being able to recover from sprint faster. And from what I understand what this means, if you guys have used Dexterity in Black Ops 2, that's a S tier perk. Again, this is another really good perk in the game. That's very important because that, again, lets you aim down sights faster because it's recovery from sprinting. But I don't know if that's what they mean, because that's what it did, Dexterity did in BO2. But it could mean that you actually, like, regenerate your sprint. But from what I understand, most of the Call of Duty games going forward are just going to have unlimited sprint. So I'm assuming it's recovering and being able to basically aim down sights, which is huge. Again, that's a very important perk for this game. And then we have Lightweight, another S tier perk. Basically, all these, oh, by the way, these are all the green perks are perk slot 2. The blue perks are perk slot 1. Not that it really matters, but I mean, obviously via the colors you guys can tell. But yeah, all the good perks to me are all in perk 2. So basically, I think like the best perks for the game right now, definitely going to be Lightweight, and then Gung Ho, if you can actually aim down sights faster, if that's what it means by recover from sprint faster, and then Dexterity. Those are all my personal choices for like the best perks, but we still have a few more perks. Now, these are all in perk slot 3. The first one over here is Reveal. So it says increased Fog of War reveal radius for self and teammates. So this could actually be good. It depends on how much it reveals. If you guys didn't know, there is a Fog of War system. Basically, your mini-map, like, oh gosh, the game just ended, it's fine. But basically, the mini-map over in like the top left, basically, there's a little bit larger of a radius because there is a Fog of War mechanic in the game. But for the most part, I don't think people are going to really utilize it. But if it works with teammates and if it works with some of your equipment, that can be kind of good. We're going to have to wait to see the interactions with that one. But that is Reveal. I think it has a little bit of potential. Next up, Dead Silence. I mean, that's kind of something we've had in Call of Duty forever. Move quietly and resist detection from acoustic sensor. So it's kind of also revealing that we have something that can detect sound, I guess, in the game, which might be something like deployable. But for the most part, obviously in Search and Destroy, that's a pretty important thing anyways. But when we have certain other things that we can deploy to like kind of see through walls and stuff, basically that can also be something that Dead Silence isn't going to prevent. And again, it depends on the specialist, but Dead Silence is definitely going to be an S tier perk, and I would say in like Search and Destroy. The next one up is kind of interesting. This is Team Link. So it says see friendly teammates through walls, and I'm like, well, you can see through walls, but it's your own teammates, which I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think it's going to be like that good because it's your own teammates. Like, what are you going to be able to do seeing your teammates through the wall? You already can see the little green arrow that's, you know, this guy's your teammate. So I'm not sure if I feel like this one has a lot of potential to be that good. But I don't know what like implications this has. Like, what's the point of seeing your teammates through the walls when you can just see the little arrow? I guess for like, distance on how far or close someone is. But if you're like going to be playing competitive, I would say more than likely you'd be able to just directly see from via the minimap. You'll know what your teammates are. But anyways, lastly, we have Ghost over here. So Ghost makes it so you're undetectable by enemy UAVs while moving, which is something I've always liked that Treyarch games do with Ghost. You have to be moving. And then also, it makes you immune to UAVs while planting or defusing bombs, which is cool, or controlling score streaks. So I think that that's pretty fair. I don't think it's like OP to make it so if you're using, let's say, like an RCXD or like any controlled score streak, it makes it so you don't get revealed. And then also it says reduce time on enemy sensor darts and vision pulse. So those are going to be, well, one of them is like, I believe an ability, kind of like, oh gosh, who has it in? And it's in Black Ops 3, the vision pulse. And then also the sensor dart, I'm pretty sure that's a thing where you basically shoot it out and it scans an area, it shows it on like the mini map. But that is it for the perks. Now, as far as the wild cards go, let's go ahead and check those out. So here are the wild cards. I wouldn't say there's anything really huge, but we have Overkill, Primary Gunfighter 1, Primary Gunfighter 2, and Primary Gunfighter 3, so that lets you potentially equip all 6 attachments. Basically, I mean, it was basically in their Twitter reveal where they showed off the Pick 10 system. Let me go bust this up. They're showing off the Pick 10 system, so basically it's going to be like all your perks at that point if you're going to equip all the Primary Gunfighters. What's interesting, they have something called Underkill. Oh, by the way, Overkill, what that is you get to actually equip 2 primary guns in the game. And, I mean, it is nice sometimes to have a sniper and then have something you can swap to, but I wanted to also mention the shotguns in this game are a secondary, so you wouldn't even need to run Overkill if you want to do a shoddy sniper. But there's, again, Primary Gunfighter, nothing new over there. And then Underkill is something new. I want to say it's new at least. I don't remember any Call of Duty having it before, at least not the ones that I like remember. But anyways, Underkillers carry 2 secondary weapons, which most people probably won't do. I feel like that shouldn't even really be like a perk. But anyways, there's secondary gunfire 1, 2, and 3, so you can actually attach a bunch of attachments to your secondary. A lot of COD games, it's only like 1 or 2 attachments. But I guess you can attach 3, but I don't think it's gonna be that like useful for competitive. But for the perks, we have perk 1 greed, perk 1 gluttony or glutony, and same thing for perk 2s, 3s. It's the same thing. Basically, you can equip multiple perks. So I think that is kind of nice. As far as what I mentioned before, I think perk 2, gluttony, and greed are where it's at, because again, what I would consider to be the best perks are again going to be, well, definitely not reveal. It was gung ho, dexterity, and not scavenger. What was the other one? Lightweight. Again, you're being able to move faster, slide faster, basically ADS a little bit faster. Those are going to be what's considered the S tier perks to me, as well as what I would personally use in competitive. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on any of these perks. You guys think if any of them are OP? Personally, I think the most OP one is definitely going to be where's it? A dexterity. You get so much out of it. You get mantle, climb, slide, swap weapons, and increased weapon accuracy when jumping and jumping or mantling. Like it's just more stuff. I mean, it is kind of in the same category, but it just gives the most. And again, like Dead Silence is definitely also like an S tier, but it's always been like that. And I'm really glad that they don't have awareness, which is something where it's like you can hear people sometimes if they have like Dead Silence. It was in some of the other COD games where you can still hear them, but basically those are what I would consider the most competitive and the best perks. And as far as wildcards go, obviously it's perk 2 greed, because I think the perk 2 slots are better. I'm hoping that they actually change some of this stuff because, you know, again, all the good perks are in perk 2 slots. But anyways, those are my thoughts. You guys can let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section below. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid, and we'll be playing some more Black Ops 3 this week, because they actually did offer a like weapon supply drop. If you guys didn't know, go ahead, log into Black Ops 3 if you guys want to get like a free weapon supply crate. You have to win 75 games, which is going to take some time. So we've been playing a lot of Black Ops 3 recently over on the live stream. If you guys want to follow me on there, we'll go ahead and talk more about bunch of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, because hopefully this game will be good so I can stream COD again, because I kind of missed the game, and I'm hoping the Battle Royale mode will be revealed pretty soon. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I am signing out.